A huge 3D printed robotic chassis on tracks with the cheapest GPS RTK module. I promised you in my last two videos that I will get this thing to work, and I did. Let me show you how. Thanks to your ideas from the comment section, I was able to solve all the mechanical problems, and I will show you that in this video. I also got the GPS to work without the compass, which turned out to be quite easy and interesting. This is part number 3 of working on this project. In the first part, I created this 3D printed robotic chassis with very expensive motors and solved a lot of problems. In part number 2, I focused on solving mechanical problems and fixing this chassis, and I ended up designing a completely new version with windshield wiper motors. It was pretty good, but today we still have to solve some mechanical problems and most importantly focus on creating software that will make this chassis drive autonomously with GPS RTK. Yes, I know, it's a mess. I'm cleaning in here, it will get better eventually in the workshop, but I have been recently reading some of your comments. As you remember from my previous video, I had a problem that the wheel was slipping on the shaft of the motor. I wanted to use some metal parts, something complicated, or even weld into the shaft of the motor, but someone commented that I should just simply drill a hole through the shaft of the motor. And I tested that. Yes, it completely solves the problem. At this point, I feel like 20% of working on this project was just disassembling the chassis to fix something, to upgrade or to change. Drilling the shaft of the motor was quite challenging since it's a very hard steel, and without the drill press, with just a drill in your hand, it might be actually impossible to do it. Then I put in place a screw. It was a metric 3mm screw with nuts, and I redesigned the holder for the wheel. I assembled everything and put it to the test, and after a few seconds, well, this happened. Well, I guess it's time to redesign the wheels. The wheel that I designed previously had no chamfers on the edges, and that was a big problem because when the track was going off the wheel, there was too much tension in the track and the filament that was joining the individual pieces together failed. So I added the chamfer, printed the wheels again, and just like that, the problem is solved. But is it the end of the problems? Of course not. Okay, something's definitely wrong, and that wheel shouldn't look like that. It just totally destroyed the screw. Later, I managed to destroy the screw 3 more times. The 3mm metric screw that I used for the shaft of the motor that went through and was preventing the wheel from slipping, it wasn't strong enough, and it already broke on this side and on this side as well, so I drilled the hole to 4mm, and now I'm using a metric 4mm screw. So now the screw is strong enough, but the wheels are not, and I broke both of them at the very same time. That was quite impressive. If you want to ask how much filament I used to print all the prototypes and parts for this project, trust me, you and we don't want to know the answer to this question. I need to find a different way. I wanted to weld something to the shaft of the motor, but in the comments I learned that the gear inside the motor is plastic. I had to check that, and yes, it is. So in the end I redesigned the holder for the wheel once again, and this time it's printed with ABS, and I mean, look at that fit. It is just so perfect. I'm not sure I would be able to design something so precisely without the 3D scan. It really was useful in this project. Now this part is made of ABS, it is way stronger and the screw goes through the plastic part, so it is like held with this nut but also with the screw that goes through the plastic part and the shaft of the motor. If this one doesn't work, I have no idea what will. And after driving for about 10 minutes, everything's fine. All the wheels are working. There are no problems with the tracks and it is perfectly controllable with the RC transmitter. But that wasn't the point of this project. The point was to make it drive on its own with GPS RTK. Inside of the robot I have the motor driver, the battery. I need to add the Raspberry Pi Zero and the GPS RTK module, and then I will finally start working on making it drive between the waypoints on the map. And if you like this project, if you want to build it on your own, check out the link in the video description and go to industry.cc/store. You can buy this design on my website. It's a great way to get yourself a very nice robotic chassis that you can use outdoors, but also support my work and future projects. Thank you very much. Would you like to build projects like I do but don't know where to start and what to learn? The sponsor of today's video, Skillshare, might help you with that. Skillshare is the largest online learning community with thousands of classes led by industry experts. You can find here classes focused on design, electronics, Arduinos, and even Fusion 360. There are two classes I can recommend if you want to build projects similar to my GPS RTK robot. If you are more into microcontrollers, there is an Arduino class by Mark Flaunferder, where you will learn how to program the Arduino board, connect sensors and motors. With this class you can go very quickly from nothing to programming your first Arduino board. And if you prefer programming Raspberry Pi with Python like I did in this video, or even normal computers, the class by Alvin Wan called Coding 101 Python for Beginners will be perfect for you. You will learn about the basics of Python, which will be useful in robotics, data science and web development. Python is really everywhere these days. Recently they also introduced the Learning Paths, a curated and sequential collection of classes that are perfect to master a specific topic. For example, if you want to grow your first YouTube channel, there is a great learning path created by some really big YouTubers that will teach you everything you need to know. The first 500 people to use my link in the video description will receive 20% off their first year of Skillshare. Get started today with Skillshare, the link is in the video description. Everything is inside the chassis, including the Raspberry Pi, the GPS RTK module and the motor driver of course, but the motor driver is not yet connected to the Raspberry Pi. I am connected to the oscilloscope from the Raspberry Pi and I can observe the pins of the Raspberry Pi and the PWM signal, and now when I take the controller on my phone, as you can see the signals are changing and I went through that, they seem to be changing okay. So when I turn, it also changes, so now I just need to connect the motors. Forward, backward, that's left, and that's right. The chassis works, that's cool. Let's now look into the GPS. For the RTK to work we need the base station. I will be using this module and open network of base stations, and on the rover I will be using this module. I already tested this setup before and it works quite well. Now, because we are not using a compass on the chassis of the robot, it's quite problematic because of the motors. We need to move the robot and calculate the heading based on the previous positions. It's not that hard to do, the only downside is that the robot has to constantly be moving to calculate the heading. And now we can go to the waypoint number 1 and then waypoint number 2 and constantly every second calculate the position. Another big problem of this module is that the refresh rate is only 1 Hz, so you can refresh the localization once every second. It's not a huge problem and during my tests everything worked fine, but it's definitely a limitation you have to keep in mind. And then of course I went outside to test it and it wasn't working. Honestly, nothing was working. It wasn't even controllable through the interface and the joystick. The Wi-Fi was not working, the GPS was not working, the interface was not working, the server was breaking, the Raspberry Pi was for some reason lagging and disconnecting from the Wi-Fi constantly. There were problems with the open network of base stations and also my own base station. Just countless problems, one after the other. When everything was solved, no worries, there were new problems to be solved right after. Okay, so the accuracy seems to be quite okay. The delay is the real problem. Fortunately, no more mechanical problems, but the software problems, I think we have another error. It's a lot of work. It's exhausting, and sometimes I feel like I'm the worst programmer in the world. But there is still the problem with the weird delay that is happening and that is causing everything to break after a couple minutes. I placed the robot on the wheelbarrow and I have been driving it around to understand what is really going on with the GPS. Well, I really need the safety switch on this robot. I will do it later. In the end, I had to just add one line of code and the GPS started to work properly. I am really good at programming. So now it will work autonomously. No, it won't. Firstly, I had to find a way to calculate the heading based on previous positions. That wasn't super hard, I managed to do it. Then I had to somehow drive the robot around to reach certain waypoints, so it had to know what is the error in the heading and then the distance to the next waypoint. It all was just a set of small problems that weren't super hard, but when you combine all of them together, that becomes a huge problem. So you just have to divide it into smaller problems and deal with them one by one until you have your final solution. Yes, it adjusted for the heading. That's super cool. Trying to reach waypoint number 1. I think it reached... Yes, it reached waypoint number 1. And now it is adjusting for the heading, which really didn't work as it should. Well, as you can see, I was truly happy when it finally started to work. And here we have a problem with the steering gain that was too high, so let's see how it works after reducing the steering gain by 50%. These are the waypoints, just a simple triangle, and now I press autonomous on. And here it goes. Okay, we are getting closer to waypoint number 1. For now the precision is very limited, as I just want to test it and see if it works. I'm not really concerned about getting it to work up to a single centimeter level of precision. Now it turns and it goes to the second one. Oh my god, this is so good. It really works. And now waypoint number 3. Can you imagine my excitement when I started to see that on the map? The robot was moving from one waypoint to another without any problems. It was super exciting, truly. But new problems are already on their way. Before I tell you about them, let me tell you about programming this robot. For that I used Visual Studio Code and I tried to use the SSH plugin to edit files directly on the Raspberry Pi, but it really does not work as it should and it is super slow, so in the end I was just pushing my changes to GitHub and then pulling them from GitHub to the Raspberry Pi and running the Python script. It's very simple. The robot was working fine, but only for a couple of minutes, and after that I saw that. No RTK, which means we lost RTK fix. Losing RTK fix means instead of 2 centimeters of accuracy, it's more like 50 centimeters of accuracy, but my own base station might fix it. Here is my own GPS RTK base station, and this is the GPS antenna. I moved it a little bit because it was lower and the signal wasn't that great. Now it is really good. A lot of people commented under previous videos about this GPS RTK system that the roof is causing the problems, but the roof is not metal, it's ondulin. I have no idea what it is, but it's definitely not metal. I already made 2 videos about the cheapest GPS RTK module and you can find them on my channel. And here is a 3D printed box, and inside it I have a Raspberry Pi with the GPS module. I bought a little extension cable so that the antenna can reach the top of the roof, and I'm powering that with a USB charger. If you are interested in setting up your own RTK base station, I made a video about it as well, and I have some more information on that on my website. So far I have been using the Polish network of base station, and I hope the problem of losing RTK will be fixed by using my own base station. I upgraded the design of the website. Now it looks like this, which is a bit more modern, easier to use, easier to read all the values on the top. And now it's time for the final test, because I think that all or maybe most of the problems have been solved. It should work now, and let's see how long will it drive between the waypoints without any problem. Welcome to my command center. Here through the window I can see the robot that is down there on the grass. On my laptop I can control everything. The waypoints are prepared and I'm ready to start controlling the robot and watching how it works. So now I can take the video from the drone where we can see the robot driving, and the screencast from my computer. I can take the map and overlay it on top of the grass like that, and we can see how the robot movement matches the movement on the map. Here we can also see the 1 Hz refresh rate of the GPS module because the position on the map is not updated that frequently and it's not that smooth. The closer the robot is to the waypoint, the slower it is to make sure that it reaches it precisely. And once the robot reaches the waypoint, it waits for 2 seconds and goes to the next one. My own base station solved the problem, and now we are not losing the RTK fixed status that often, and even when that happens, the robot can recover. How long can it drive like this? Well, until my battery monitor starts screaming that it's time to charge it. This project was a lot of work. As always, building a project then making a video, it takes a lot of time. If you would like to support what you see here on this YouTube channel, you can buy yourself the files for the chassis that I created for this series. It's really robust. I spent a lot of time on designing and perfecting it, and I don't even want to think about how much filament was wasted on all the prototypes. Now that I have experience of working on this project, I want to focus on IndyMower and hopefully finally finish the project with GPS RTK. But probably it won't happen that soon, as the project is quite complex. Thank you very much for watching this one. Don't forget to share your ideas in the comments, and see you in the next one. Bye!